Project Baltimore is brought to you by the Snyder Law Group.
Maryland Transit Police are asking for your help finding this man. Investigators say he assaulted a person on a bus on April 20th along Frederick Avenue near Willard Street. Investigators also say the suspect was using a crutch and had a small child with him at the time. Anyone with information is asked to call police. A surprise of a lifetime for the class of 2019 at Morehouse College in Atlanta.
This is my class, 2019, and my family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans.
Their keynote speaker, billionaire Robert Smith, pledging to pay off the loans of almost 400 seniors. D.C. Wilson High grad Leonard Long was a part of that class. Long didn't know Smith's name before yesterday. He was planning to use his graduation gift money to pay off his loan. Instead, he picked up the check.
I can confidently just give that token of gratitude to my parents and just pay for their dinner.
Well, the gift to the class is worth around $40 million. A former Baltimore County School Board member is calling for the state prosecutor to investigate after more than $400,000 of taxpayer money was spent on an audit of county schools that she says was never conducted.
As Project Baltimore's Chris Papst explains, this bombshell accusation comes as the Baltimore County School Board is set to pick a new superintendent as early as tomorrow.
The Baltimore County School Board waited more than a year for the results of the audit. When it came back with no major red flags, everyone celebrated. But one former school board member says that's because this is not an actual audit.
I view it as a bait and switch.
Tonight, a strong claim from former Baltimore County School Board member Ann Miller.
The audit you voted for as a board member is not the audit that was done.
That's correct.
How did that happen?
That's what I would like to know.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. In the fall of 2017, BCPS board members, including Miller, who left in November, voted to pay $414,000 for an audit of the school system's procurement practices. The audit was ordered as Superintendent Dallas Dance was sentenced to 6 months in jail for perjury for lying about income relating to consultant work. A year and a half later, the report, which found no major concerns, was released. This was interim Superintendent Verlita White at the time.
We need to make some tweaks and adjustments, certainly, but our fiscal house is in order.
But Miller says the report likely found no major concerns because it's not an audit.
We've gone through this process for a year and a half, thinking that we were getting a true audit, and now that it's all over, now is when we find out that that was not at all what was conducted.
Project Baltimore reached out to UHY advisors out of Columbia, which did the report. They declined to answer our questions. But the firm doesn't even call its own work an audit. They call it a report. And the first sentence clearly states, we performed consulting services, and it was done using consulting procedures.
There's a big difference between auditing standards and consulting standards. Auditing standards require the auditor to be independent and objective, where a consultant can be hired to meet set objectives.
Baltimore County Schools administrators declined an interview with Project Baltimore.
Hi, Miss White. Chris Papst with Fox 45 Project.
Even though when we approached interim superintendent Verlita White outside of her office earlier this year, she said she would make herself available for interviews.
Will you be more accessible to us moving forward?
Always. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
White told us that in February. Since then, we've requested 5 interviews with her, including for this story. She's declined them all.
Everybody understood the importance of this audit, but we're still without one now, $414,000 later that the taxpayers are responsible for.
2 weeks ago, the State Office of Legislative Audits started an audit of Baltimore County Public Schools. Miller believes the result of that will be very different than the one BCPS paid $414,000 for. And we want to hear from you. And do you have a follow the money story that you want us to investigate? Call our hotline, send me an email, go to foxbaltimore.com to follow our progress. I'm Chris Papst, and this is Project